And that's when I looked into the mirror
I'm not
and said,
scared.
Captain Cursor.
No, don't
Captain
don't do that. We're getting the. You are not running the correct version of the game. What kind of a programmer are you?
Not a very good
Hi,
Oh,
hey,
snap.
hi. Yes, welcome
not
to the
a
Friday the
glitch one.
13th version of the Rift live stream. As you can tell, I'm wearing my beautiful slasher makeup, except it's not really makeup. Long story, it's on my Facebook page. Don't ask about it, okay? Scars are cool. Welcome. I'm Linda Carlson. I'm the Director of Community here at Tryon Worlds, and I also have the absolute joy of working as Community Manager on Rift. With me today is...
Amory, Amanda, hi. I'm a producer on Rift.
And?
Kirby,
Yes?
who is Director of Treats Quality, and he's very sleepy.
God. And this guy?
I'm Rough Raptors.
And what do you do here?
I'm a software engineer.
And what class do you play?
I play Warrior.
See?
Woo!
We brought him on specially for you guys today. Anyway, so he's trying to get Rift to play.
It does not want to do it. I can't even get it on my dev account.
Oh, that's so sad. So instead, we're going to have to talk about other stuff. Otherwise, we were going to show his Warrior blowing things up and burninating.
He's going to play for us.
He was going to play for us.
He's still going to.
That was
Still
the
going to?
It's going to happen. It's going to work.
Okay. Anyway.
Do you have normal glyph on this PC?
You mean internal?
No, non-internal.
That one? No, you're right. Probably.
Probably.
Go look.
Anyway, go look it up. While he's trying to resolve that, we're going to talk about a few things today. This episode is called Winning because we are going to announce the winners of the first monthly challenge on Rift Prime. And that was a really interesting contest. I was surprised to see how many people completed the challenges. I was not one of them, okay? Because I am a filthy hardcore casual. Therefore, I'm too busy running around smelling the flowers.
Not even 50 yet.
I'm not 50. Do you know what level I am? I'm like 18. Okay?
You stand around and talk to people.
On my brass character, I'm only 18 because, yeah, I stand around and talk to people a lot. My warrior character is somewhat higher, but I don't talk about her because you never know when I'm going to be in your group. She's a little bit higher than my brass character. The other thing we're going to announce today are the winners of the Shiny Stories contest. And I exercised some of my executive privilege to change the prize winnings a little bit because we were just going to award 3 top prizes and then a few secondary prizes. But instead, what we're going to do is we're awarding 6 grand prizes, and the top entries are all going to get some patron time. So with that, all right. Are you playing or because
no? I'm trying to get glyph launch.
Okay, well,
so
you know what? Let us do the rest of the presentation first, and then while we're asking you challenging questions, you can still attempt to get the game going. Okay,
Sure.
So it's not just you guys. If this guy can't make a game run, you know that there's issues, and now we just have to figure out what it is. So if you could please be so kind as to Alt-Tab to the PowerPoint presentation.
He's trying to log in real quick. Almost got it.
Okay. Which
All
one?
right.
Which one? Which one? There's 2.
The right-hand side one. Okay.
Winning.
Now, stay away from there. Okay, now we're going to switch over to this screen. There! Oh my god, something
much
actually worked! Okay, so, anybody who's playing Rift is winning already. So here we are, the month 1 challenge. Y'all remember that? How many of you people actually participated?
A lot.
A lot. Okay, so the first one that we're going to award is Dungeon Crawler. Now, to get this, you had to complete Iron Tomb, Realm of the Fae, Deep Strike Mines, Darkening Deeps, Foul Cascade, and King's Breach.
Yes.
How many of those did I do?
I did 5 of those.
Did you?
I missed one of them.
Oh, dude. Yeah, I did.
I actually
Realm of
didn't
the Fae
ever
and Iron
finish
Tomb.
DSM, and I never did DD.
I did those the most. I think it was Foul Cascade.
Some random pug invited me to tank the final council boss of DD, and I was like, okay. I missed the rest of it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's really cool. So we're going to talk about Warriors later, but start preparing your comments about Warriors and the recent adjustments that have been made. Anyways, here's some interesting stats for you. Yeah. No, you didn't have to sign up for this. This is automatic. The first person to complete all 5 completed it on March 10th at 3:41 a.m.
Yep.
Y'all got to get some lives here. And the total number of people who completed all 5 dungeons, 2,556. Now, why is this important? The first completions all get the prize, and then there's a random draw for 5 people who came from the whole 2,500 thing.
Yep.
Okay, so here's the winners for the first. Okay, Kreezem.
Kreezem, congrats.
Yep, Relax. Doran Bolt, Zion, and Ranmaha. Hey, I had a question for you on this. Is this the order that they completed them in too?
So kind of. So like we had kind of, part of the reason this challenge had 5 winners is because we kind of had the expectation that the first people to complete this were going to do it as a group. And so actually these 5 all achieved it at the exact same time because they completed the 6th one as a group together. Yep.
There you go. Power in numbers. And then the random drawing for 5 of any of the people who completed it during the time frame. Kurufinve. I don't know how you pronounce it.
Kurufinve.
Rayeda.
Bob Swagger.
Yeah. Dirt. And Stone Prophet. So congrats to you guys. And this is the first time that we've run this, so Emma double-checked this all with BI, and that was a really interesting experience. It was fun. I was really intrigued to see the information come in on it.
I just realized something.
Yeah.
Your phone's ringing. Why is your phone ringing?
My phone is ringing, thank you. As a spam caller.
Oh, great.
I hung up on them.
Okay.
So, if I would have not been a slacker and actually done all of these and won, would we give away double?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yep.
Okay.
If you're one of our first completion winners for any challenge, we will give away double.
Okay. That's fair.
I'll take that into consideration.
You are the warrior prophet, and fine. Okay, so now Rough Raptors.
The warrior tank prophet.
Oh, warrior tank prophet. Okay. All right. So now the next competition was for Shiny Hunter
artifacts.
All right. So this required people to complete 25 artifact sets. I know for a fact that Amanda actually completed 25 artifact sets.
I did.
I completed about 8.
I thought I was going to actually be one of the first
guy.
winners, but it turns out I was not. And so I found that when I was looking this up. It was pretty funny.
And what number did you
I think it was 23, 24. It might be in your PowerPoint.
No, it isn't.
No.
I didn't.
I think it was 23 or 24.
And again, oddly enough, March 10th is the date. Now this is at a much more reasonable hour of 10:04 a.m. And the total number of people who did 25 artifact sets during that 1 month period, 1,771. So that's pretty impressive too. So here are the people who completed the artifact sets, and are these in order of?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
So Yuo was actually the first person on Prime to complete 25.
Wow, and that's great. And I bet y'all know who the second person is. Dior.
Dior, congratulations.
Yeah. Now, one of the things after we announce the rest, Mini Master, another familiar name, and then Fleshali, Eladil, and Julia were all pulled from the total number of people who completed them. Now, when we're talking about this, you had made some comment that it was it included some very strategic trading.
Yep, and so that was what was interesting because I know when I was completing mine, I got mine on like the 14th or 12th, and I was like getting shard firsts for like Silverwood artifacts, and so when I was pulling these, I was like, damn, how did they do this so fast? And I figured out that not a lot of it, but there was some very smart strategic artifact buying, where instead of just sticking to the first zone, they were finding things like the 3-piece artifact sets from Gloamwood or Stonefield, right? So it took fewer artifacts to actually complete the set, and I was pretty impressed at some of that, like, optimizing number of artifacts needed.
Whether their guilds got together and found all the artifacts.
And there could have been some of that too. Yeah,
because that's certainly what I would do.
Yes, there was trading. There was trading.
I
and
probably should have just sent my artifacts to you, because then if you'd made the list, we'd had to give away twice as many.
Oh, see, I was going to disqualify myself if I was on there.
And ban yourself.
No, there's no banning.
Okay. All right. So, wrong mouse. Here we go. And now the other challenge we have going on. So crafty. And again, complete or level up one of Rift's original crafting skills to 300.
Yep.
Not easy. So I want you guys to take a moment now and figure out which crafting skills made it to the top first, because it's kind of interesting.
Yep.
The first completion, yet again, March 10th. What day did we open servers?
The
7th?
Yep. The 10th is that first weekend, so these are probably people who like took
you
Friday
didn't
off,
sleep.
Played all day on Friday, played all night Saturday morning.
All right, and the total number of people who got a crafting skill to 300
in that first month,
331 during that first month. That's pretty good. Again, not me, although I am.
I didn't either, actually, because I keep all of mine together, so I didn't push one.
All I wanted to do is just funnel stuff out so that I could get some decent bags. Man, that was probably the biggest challenge for me.
I used like 4 and 8 slot bags, like all the way to level 50.
How?
I'm a hoarder. Okay, I can't
with
do
that.
All right, so here's the 3 completions. Those were the first people to get the gathering, or to get the crafting skills out.
Crafting skills, yep. Bottle, first person on the server.
And the two first, I think, were rune crafters. As a matter of fact, I'm surprised. Why didn't I put those on here?
I think Dornbolt had Outfitter. I want to say it was. I thought it was Runecrafter, Outfitter.
I think that's correct.
Bozert was an Artificer. Maddie was a Runecrafter, and I forget Mom Zero's.
Mom Zero, are you online? I'm so sorry. I had this information too. So, yeah.
Yeah, Runecrafter.
Yeah, Doranbolt had.
Someone, yeah, someone in there had like Outfitter as one of the first. Okay.
All right. So, and then the final one.
Resourceful for the gathering skills.
Which also I didn't get, even though I gather obsessively. I cannot pass by a plant, a twig, a rock. I just can't. There is a law that I must stop and get.
I have that for artifacts. Sometimes I see people run past an artifact and I'm like, what is wrong with you?
I know, right?
How did you not stop for that?
Check yourself! Anyway, again, first completion on the 10th. That means that you people got this stuff
First
done
weekend.
First weekend. That's when it went. And 451 people managed to get their gathering skills to 300.
Yep.
And so what gathering skills do you think went top? I know that in the game people were betting that it was going to be butchering.
Let's see. It's probably mining, foraging, and butchering because I've cheated and I've looked at the document.
You're a horrible human being.
Spoilers. I'm sorry. Spoilers.
Stoli with
mining.
How do you
Tinsantium.
Tinsantium. And Futaba with foraging.
I would have almost expected butchering to be first, just because you can spam that on mobs. But I could also see if you did nothing but mining and foraging.
Well, also because I can't pass by anything, I kept running around and seeing people leaving the corpses of the animals they have killed, and I'm going, I can't.
I didn't pick up a single gathering.
Wow.
I'm not even surprised by this.
And the 3 randos that we picked, Sea Park from mining, Gordius butchering, and Lost in You mining. And again, those are pulled from the random 451 people who were not included in the top 3. So congratulations, you all. One of the things, before we go to the shiny stories, can you please alt-tab to the webpage where we talk about the second monthly challenge? I saw some folks in the channel who said that they didn't even know that there was a challenge. Once a month we have these. We post it on the forums, we post it on our website, and we post it on social media. So make sure you check on it. The next challenge is already underway. And so here you go. Do you want to talk about these ones?
I do. One thing to point out, because I know what the very first question is going to be, these challenges started on April 8th. You'll notice the end date on these is May 17th. There's an extra week added on to the end of that. And that's because some of these pieces, like the Guardians and Defiant Sagas, or Poor Scion, didn't actually get released until this week.
Okay.
So we added an extra week onto that duration. So the challenges for month 2... we're going to try to keep these somewhat related to content unlocks that happen each month.
Yeah, especially now that we have a good idea of what pace
of what's coming up in the next few weeks. Exactly. And so first one is to complete your appropriate life or death saga up to the stage just before Greenscale's Blight. So it doesn't require full completion of the entire thing to the end. It's just before the raid point is where you'll start seeing it. So it'll require a raid rift, it'll require experts, but not Greenscale.
Okay.
I wonder if I was one with the first 5 for that. I did finish it the first day.
You might have been. And so
so we might have to give away more awards?
No, but that's a good point.
I finished it really late at night. I finished it at like midnight or something, so I might not have been one of the first 5, but I did finish it.
So, and there's a good question that Mizuki's pointing out too. I was just going to address this.
Someone completed the life saga before raids on the 7th before it was released. How does that factor
So there was about a 8-hour window last week where some of this content turned on a week prior before it was supposed to, and people would have been able to pick up the quest before everyone had access to it this last Wednesday 2 days ago. Okay. So what we're going to do in this case is that if you are one of the people who obtained the first saga quest prior to Wednesday, what was this last Wednesday? I don't know my dates anymore.
Oh,
the
dates are hard.
11th?
11th, yes.
So if you obtain the first saga quest prior to the 11th, and you complete that eligible requirement by the 17th, I'm going to give you the title reward, but you are not going to count against the first 5 winners. So you'll be awarded separately as, it's like, okay, you didn't do anything wrong by picking up that quest when it was available. But you're not going to count against the reward pool.
Okay.
If you just picked up the quest and you don't complete that 5th stage by the end of this reward period, you're not going to get the title. So you do still have to finish it out like everyone else.
Now, by the way, we are seeing some questions here that we're going to answer. Every time we have a live stream, we put the live stream announcements up. There's a link to the forums where we collect questions, and I had to close the questions yesterday because there were so many of them. And so hold your questions until the end. And if we have time at the end of the questions that we've already collected, we'd be happy to answer your additional ones. We will try to pick up some relevant ones as we go along, but we're not ignoring you. We just have to get through the live stream.
Some datas.
Okay, so I want to talk about Battle for Port Sion.
Port Sion!
As you know, there's been a lot of debate between PvPers as to whether Port Sion should be in or not, and some people, there's nobody in the middle. You either love Port Sion or you freaking hate Port Sion.
I've always liked it.
Yeah, so, and there you go. I
love it.
Okay, but I'm willing to try this, and so one of the cool things is Port Sion also available on the live server?
It is not currently.
Not currently.
And it's missing some NPCs on Prime right now.
Okay.
There is a bug with it, and we're fixing that one up.
So, something that I really want to see is a lot of feedback on Port Sion on the forums so that you can tell us what you like, what you don't like, and that sort of thing, so that we can decide whether Port Sion is something that we should carry on with or not. So I
got turned off a long time ago.
I'm going to start an official feedback thread for that today, and I'll try to funnel any existing feedback into that thread, but we do want to hear about it. And then My Little Bounties. This one's going to be challenging.
This one's interesting because I think some people, especially if you haven't played Live Rift in the last few years, you may not even know what bounty artifacts are. And so sometimes you'll see an elite out in the world with a yellow name, and he's really strong, and he's way stronger than anything in the area. And they're bounty mobs, basically. And when you kill them, you can get a bounty artifact. It's a special set of artifact sets.
And eyeball or a hand.
Yes, body parts usually.
Liver.
There's PvP ones too where you can get like class-based depending on who what soul they were playing in PvP, which is awesome.
So originally this was going to be a complete X number of bounty artifact collections, but as anybody who's ever done them on live knows, it's really hard to get them. So Dead Simon and Amma took pity on everybody, and you just have to collect 20 bounty artifacts.
Doesn't need to be a set. You don't have to complete a set with them.
Does not have to be a set.
You just need to collect 20 of any kind, and it's kind of like we wanted to inspire people who maybe hadn't even heard about bounty artifacts to like go out and hunt those bounty mobs. I would say almost all of them cannot be soloed. So usually you'll see people ask for help or looking for help or bringing in their friends to kill those. So go find those groups, kill some bounties.
And again, these challenges are going to be every month. We're going to try to again, talk about the new one that's coming up about a week before the old one ends. And now I would like to go back to the PowerPoint, please, if you don't mind. Because now we're going to talk about the Shiny Stories.
Same one?
Yep. That's it. Okay, so, and again, we're giving away 6 grand prizes instead of 3. Some of these are really, really stunning. Some of them, I will admit, could have been better with slightly better grammar, but they are all entertaining, like really entertaining. Now, this is something that I got to give credit where credit's due. We're telling a tale with artifact names, okay? And this is something that was organized by our friend Seshatar. Thank you so much, Seshatar, for running this, for making sure that all of the entries were valid. And we got some really, really good ones. So, here we go. I rule that space. I rule the forum space. Yeah, what? There was a request
there was something about forums happening.
Something about forums happening? Oh, okay. We'll get that. Yeah, Shiny Shenanigans. That question is coming up later. Hang on to it. All right, so we have a couple of honorable mentions, and then we'll count down the top 6. All right. Honorable mention, The Pug by Thazina Typheria. Skillbutt and Avka Thruster, whatever, raided through, I blame Nick for that name, raided through class with the Pug, but hid behind a tree, so the Mad Dragon blew up in their faces. Pew pew, pow pow, psh. That's really an artifact name?
Yeah.
That's crazy. That one Nightblade sneak attack, the 8th were-hamster with disgustingly long fingernail. Rashbut the Goblin puncture eyeballs of deep-fried ghost with conjured carrots, but nothing confuses the undead as sugar-blasted defiance like Grimsmile Bottom Feeder and Bob sneezing at horribly deformed Bunny. Inside the unhappiest place in Talara, a cute corgi spirit animal vulcanist fudged calculations of optimal rotation as 111 and incinerated priest's crotch grass.
That's such
I think you put through that last one in. It's the world's end as we know it. Okay, so that's an honorable mention. And you can see that with this one, I think this one is entirely made with just artifact name. Oh, there's one other word. There's the word A in there. But it's pretty interesting how well you can put something together.
I used to make sentences during Rift launch out of purely all of the achievements in the game.
Really?
And I would just speak in achievements.
You're one of those people.
I'm one of those people.
That's actually cool. Okay, the second honorable mention. How did that not win? Oh, Mizuki, there are some good ones coming. Believe me. All right, so here's the other honorable mention by Andraste. Mordecus the Unholy's Yell of Victory. I found it! Game-breaking exploit inside Dead Simon's puzzle with too many shinies. Excessive loyalty for reporting protocols in the academy, like kill the chief and take his place. Emerge Sentius, Field Agent Report, and Miracle Patch. Life Simon drank to forget, got blind drunk, causing ailing hallucinations and wild conquest.
That sounds correct,
Yeah,
actually.
pretty much. That's why he's not in here right now. Live Simon probably waged bridge battles with red vines, and as through step-by-step guide to frustrating failures without last words before the transformation into the Fen Vine-choked Simon. Mordecus the Unholy scream of pain, no! Don't let them eat me! As vine-choked Simon one-shot killed Mordecus the Unholy. Charged image indexing recorder for broken dreams. How to create puzzles and learning to live as a bogling happily ever after.
Story time with Brass is amazing.
Anytime. So now we're going to go into the top 6. Now the top 6, these are actually really amazing. In 6th place, The Dragon Twins by Ranissa. Flumph and Shapuki were the children of the dragon. All day they feigned cuteness but mischievously crushed flower beds and brought death from above to the dragon egg depository with their dragon's breath. Mama said, try harder to be good, but they bargained with devils to enter the maze and obliterate the amethyst dragon egg. Mama's uncanny eyes looked for her lost evil twins at the dragon attack sale. When the dragons came, she made a delicious-looking feast and a dragon-sized bag of treats, secretly adding sleeping powder. Her spooky little kids fell asleep, so she ran off with the fae, drank Talaran tequila, got blind drunk, I see a theme here,
I know,
and flew too high into the sunset over Scatherin. She wrote What to Expect When You Unexpectedly Raise a Dragon, including chapters Just Add Bedlam and Loss of Sleep and Are You My Dragon? That's really nice.
some of our artifact names are
Incredibly interesting. I'm going to have to ask Dead Simon about some of those.
There's a lot of alcohol references, too.
I think an insta-win would have been if they made a story out of my nutritional artifact set.
What is
That's
that?
a
New
good
challenge
idea.
for you. My nutritional artifact
Yeah,
set.
Nick. I'm not going to say the other name because I've
Okay.
already said it twice.
Oh, yeah.
But Nick made an artifact set with my nutritional habits of what I eat. On
Your
a daily
nutritional
basis.
habits.
Yes.
What does it include?
Well, probably for legal reasons we couldn't include the real name, but generally it's microwaved food and Pop-Tarts.
Yeah.
God, really?
And sriracha. Is it sriracha
A lot,
or
yeah.
Tapatio?
I think it was like spicy sauce,
Yeah.
and it was like
Oh.
a hint of
This
like
guy like
ramen
has
and-
microwave pizza and just like sriracha all over it,
Well,
Oh.
so I actually made an awesome.
which is awesome.
Yeah,
I'm-
like
But it's
Tacitus
every
says,
meal.
It includes no nutrition.
Well, yeah, so 2 days ago, I actually made microwave burritos. I put sriracha on it, and then I put Taco Bell Diablo sauce on that.
Sounds pretty dope.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, and again, a question ignored. Dude, wait till the end. We have a whole question section. Busy. Oh, wait. Oh,
We should jump
There we
through
go.
some of these shiny stories. I know we want to read them all, but we're running low on time, and I do want to get questions.
I'll read them real fast.
Okay, read fast.
Okay. So, this is a really nice one by Nalivia Carrion. Live Simon and a clean-shaven dwarf lass went drinking. Another theme. The beardless dwarf didn't have exact change for a dozen barrels of mead, so Live Simon became a magician's assistant. Live Simon jumped through the fire hoops and became Charred Simon. Charred Simon has a fear of being delicious inside a tamed lion cage, screaming, "No, don't let them eat me!" The court necromancers had Charred Simon use summon circle chalk and shiny rocks to bring an oiling rock to life. The shiny rocks were badly bound rocks, and Charred Simon summoned a conjoined giant who broke every bone in Simon. Charred Simon was now Pulverized Simon.
Isn't that how he became Dead Simon?
Probably. You'll Drain the Healer treated Crushed Simon and accepted Crushed Simon Ironhook healthcare card. You'll Drain the Healer wrapped Crushed Simon in Morbin Wildvine and accidentally Virulent Vine. With the missing healer and a vine-choked Simon, a random bogling slice and dice the Virulent Vine off Simon. The bogling gives Simon health potions, and now Live Simon is forever in love with a bogling maid.
I'm impressed at the cohesiveness of that story, actually.
They get better
that was on my list, yeah.
As we get closer to the top, they're even more
There's a lot about Simon.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
there's a lot of artifacts about Simon.
So here, FIFO, congratulations on 4th place. Break the enemy's resistance, Mathos shouted. Impose your will, crush the defiled elf skull. He slew the chained mother, our beloved women in white, and caused the fall of the dragons. His endless corruption and mill of death must stop. In the tomb of names, the green-eyed monster hides. Heed your king's call to service. Ride to Balmy in the north, along the sanctified caravan route. Valnir sounded the invaders' battle horn, and the Mathosian alliance rode from the Palace of Dreams. The traitor elf drank his last cup of coffee ever, in grave silence. Destruction and chaos born of blood magic was on irresistible trap, and had stolen the fruit of life from him. The corrupt source, an ancient elven relic, was his prophecy diary. Dreams of running from Mathos or hobbling the army with his weapons of war, now rusted elven steel, was certain death. The energies of inevitability. Hearing the signal horn, he lost courage and drank a vial of Greenscale's blood, leaving his spectral bonds to learn to walk home in the dark alone.
I feel like that should become official lore. Like, we should talk to Captain Cursor about that being
that
a legit Mathos story.
One.
Okay, this is actually one of my
That's the third
favorites.
time saying his name.
Oh.
He'll show up soon enough.
I don't think we have
So,
time for him
3rd place,
to show up.
I know. A madman
That's
and his
long.
mutants. A crossed-out enemy's list fluttered from the marvelous ramparts where Morbin Wildvine drank from his thermos a still piping hot magna. No survivors had escaped his sneak and infantry attacks. The squirming maggots with their sickly eyes and yellow teeth deserved extreme punishments, and he, beast of the penultipocalypse, who crushed dreams with his effective spy network and baleful laser stare, with happy thoughts, he watched General Orkenbringer teach the blight-wheeled maneuver to an endless supply of indefatigable soldiers. Sorry, not enough coffee yet. Arriving from the Great Hunt, darn the undevoured parasitic twin distracted attention with ascended clones gone wrong. The wounded are easier to catch, master, more minds to enslave. With their catch of the day, they took Zakar's portal to the briny deep, the unhappiest place in Talara. There, appropriately themed torches flickered in the dank darkness, while Darn beaten ascended with obviously evil machinist tools. Wiping his sweaty brow with regular sackcloth napkins, Darn said, "Bringing about the end of the world is hard." After another goblet of ludicrously strong liquor, Morbin punctured eyeballs with his disgustingly long fingernail, spraying something indescribably nasty on his fancy silk pants. Almost feeling compassion, he planted a well-executed pincer movement into a tormented soul with overwhelming forcefulness, leaving a gaping chest wound. Snap and crack, he pried an overly ornate ring off the dead man's fingers. Revenge is sweet, Morbin sneered. Now for corpse disposal. I'm going fast. Second place, because these are too good to skip. Y'all can throw me out later. Blythe, now I want to know, Blythe Elf, is it Blythe the Elf or is it Blythe Elf?
I think it's Blythe Elf.
Okay. Anyway, great little story. Dragonmere Hawthorne was in slavery to debt. Bone dice and dragon cards had failed him. Solemn, he slipped Hillgrape wine, perusing the list of gambling dens. Suddenly, Delilah the Hag appeared, offering a game-changing twist. Rigged dice and stone-touched cheating cards. They're against Vigil's standard inside the holy book, he
I love
refuted.
that sentence.
Lowering her hag's cap, she produced a dancer's veil, powder of illusion, girdle of gender change, and perfume, clearly suggesting the charm of enticing illusions. With a wicked eye, he considered the irresistible trap, an endless supply of jewelry, encrusted coins, and freshwater pearls he could succor, and agreed. A bogling spied the twisted deceiver, and his bogling heart fluttered, offering his waterlogged coin box and heart of true love like a wide-eyed guppy. Dragonmere's conclusion? Gross and evil maybe, but off the list of influential debtors, better life as his pretty frog-mouthed girl learning to live as a bogling than Brooke. With his bogling charm and lots of stoneberry mead, the universal elixir of love, they'd live happily ever after. And now the first place one. Ogya the Tiny Balmy by Malady. The Guild with No Drama doesn't exist. The Guild with No Drama crafted a delicious balmy wind wine using Babaru picked fruit, firebloom fruit, filtered spring water, and dried snake meat. This bottle of high-proof alcohol was used in raw jagged fin with wine sauce for a delicious-looking feast during celebrations of victory. Sadly, several waves of bandits stole the fruit of life from the tiny Balmy on duty. Clues including a fragment of Carthite armor, a metamorphic rock, and a torn IOU hinted at unpaid pacts. She studied Carthan armor blueprints and notes on crucias and prisoners to find the fleet-footed charlatan. Donning dragon-sworn armor, Oiga tracked for weeks and found a tattooed man wielding Vatir's claymore. She offered cotton candy and a dwarven iron penny as a well-placed bribe. He pointed at an unlocked and battered chest and shouted, "Never stop partying!" Turned strangely blue and used his bogling vanishing stick. Inside the plundered crate, clutched in a severed thieving hand, was the stolen property. She retrieved the red wine, hopped over Crucia's shed blade feathers, and raced through the ghost of Salvarola with a yell of victory. Her badge of honor was a notched victory dirk, a crafter's horned ornament, and recognition in the tome of names. Damn good stories.
Congratulations!
Okay, so there's just one more thing I want to do. I snuck this in. This was from some notes.
I love these.
And I didn't have permission to put this in here, so if she hits me again, you'll know because I'll have another star.
Oh my
okay?
God, that was not me.
Give us a little bit, just a little bit of information about Summerfest. This is the theme.
So Summerfest is coming, obviously, as we approach summer. April and May are not summer, so that should give you an idea of when Summerfest is probably going to arrive.
Not that soon. Summer.
But we're already starting on pulling in some art assets because those got to get done way ahead of time in order to work on Summerfest. And so we can drop some spoilers, I think, on it. The sort of feel and styling of Summerfest this year is going to be a bit of inspiration from kind of South Pacific islands, you know, Hawaii, Fiji, that kind of stuff.
Are we talking actually traditional grass skirts and headdresses?
Yes.
And oh, I'm
so we're bringing some real fun summer island feels to Rift, and there's a lot of really awesome patterns and designs and shapes and styles just from all sorts of different island cultures. So we're gonna see what cool things we can do. And one of the things that came up was the idea of surfboards.
Sure, and I love that they have the Guardian and Defiant.
I love, like, this is awesome. This came almost, I don't want to say it came out of nowhere, but one of our artists checked this in the other day, and I'm like, this is amazing. I hadn't even thought of doing something like this. I love how they brought in Defiant Guardian logos into the pattern.
Yeah.
There's also some more traditional wooden longboard style ones, like the very classic layered wood style surfboards. Right. Will there be any new mounts for Summerfest? You know, my friends, when you see a surfboard, do you think that would be something that you would ride around?
Is that going to be aquatic? I assume so.
I would totally.
We'll see.
Oh, interesting question.
Yeah. So we're looking at a surfboard mount.
All right. Okay.
It may or may not use this model, but we are looking at some form of surfboard-related mount for Summerfest, along with all of the other costume styles and appearances.
All right. Oh, yes. The Demon Wings. We've seen that question come up. We know that the wardrobe tab has the Demon Wings. We showed a sneak peek of those in progress, but they're not in yet. Do we have a time frame on the Demon Wings?
I do not have a time frame on Demon Wings, yeah.
Sometime this year. Yes, good enough. Okay, can you please switch to the main screen of our beautiful faces, and we'll start asking some questions. You can even attempt to get back into game if you want to.
At this point, we don't really have time.
Yeah, okay.
That's okay.
So here we are. We've got a number of questions. Now, some of the questions overlap, some of them repeat, and some of them are questions that we can't answer. We cannot give out private business information or proprietary information about how the game runs or how things are calculated. I just put it all under the heading of crazy math And this man works with the crazy math, she works with the crazy math, and things happen. So,
Chat.
oh, chat, sorry.
Chat mouse.
There we go, there's the chat again. All right, so yes, balance is coming up here, but bear with us as we get through the questions here. We're talking about live first. Is the fragment system going to be updated for the live game?
It sure should be. It's on the list. It's actually written on the whiteboard in my office as something that is not considered fully done with. Like, we need to do some things with that system still. I don't have specifics, like it's not imminent this week or next week, but it is on the radar.
And then quite some time ago, we talked briefly about wanting to update the guild system for live. Is that still in progress, or
real talk? It's not in the form that has previously been floated as ideas and suggestions for the guild system. It doesn't mean it will never have changes and additions or updates done to it. But if you're referring to some previously discussed options, those are unlikely to occur.
Okay. Now, we had a number of questions about Rift Live. Is Rift Live done? Is it complete? Is Prime now the main focus of Tryon? Nope. So where do you come down on that?
No. Rift Live is absolutely not done.
Okay.
We still have a whole lot of content and story left just about the Comet and the Prophecy of Anket. It doesn't end here.
All right. Is Intrepid Greenscale Blight going to have a simultaneous release with Prime?
That would have been awesome. We were talking about that the other day, that, man, if we can get both at the same time. Intrepid Greenscale Blight still needs some testing work on it. Like, there's data there, but it's not ready for release. Okay. The amount of time it would take to finish that out to do a simultaneous release would delay us significantly getting Greenscale released on Prime. So Prime is going to get Greenscale sooner.
Because it pretty much has to, because of the state of progression.
We need to get that raid out.
And is Intrepid Greenscale Blight going to be T2, 2.5, or 3?
The current planning would be that it would be T3.
Okay. Oh, and then we had a number of questions from Thumpelina on artifacts. Are we going to have twisted artifacts in the Comet Zones?
I talked to Simon about this. This is a Simon summary. It's a Simon paraphrase. Is that the order of new artifact additions would likely be to continue adding poison and burning and nightmare artifact stacks onto existing Mythosia zones.
Oh, I love that
and then moving on to adding twisted artifacts in the Celestial zones.
Okay. And any new endgame zone coming?
I mentioned earlier that we are not done with Talara and we are not done with Prophecy of Anket. That would be...
Let's talk
Won't say directly what that will be, but
okay.
We're not done with the lands there.
Let's talk a little bit about delivery of content. I know that we have changed our approach, and people are asking, so what about an expansion? What are we doing for expansion on live? So how would you address that?
So we have been a lot of focus right now on live content, either for finishing out Prophecy of Anket or for Prime. We have a lot of things live with the game that, players either have concerns about, or there are balance issues, or they want addressed, and we need to work on tightening that up before we talk about a full package expansion again.
Okay. And if Jania asks, can we get a rough estimate of new PvP or PvE content releases for the year, such as timelines or release, that sort of thing?
I would say a good internal estimate, like, this is me talking, not the team talking to you, but this is Amma who's trying to organize tasks into a schedule. This is the most
organized person I know.
This is my hopes and dreams would be for 3 more medium to big sized content updates throughout this year.
Okay. That sounds good. Are we planning to add any new rewards for lucky coins for artifacts?
We should.
We should. Great. Who do
That's
I ask
literally
about
written
that?
on my sheet. I'm like, we should.
Well, and that's a good point. When we get this sort of feedback, it really prompts us to have a look at
Balador for live. Sorry.
Yes, Balador for live. Yeah, we're
when I say content updates, I mean for live.
All we're talking about here first is live before we go into the Prime stuff. And then, of course, at some time in the past, there was discussion about releasing even more new souls for clerics, primalists, warriors, and rogues. Are we still going to do that?
The blunt answer for this is that we have a lot of balance concerns on our plate right now, and we're not even considering adding a whole new soul on top of that until we get a handle on the current state of balance.
Okay. And, crafting feels a bit unloved. I got crafting marks coming out of my ears during Storm Legion. I remember new recipes being released after Tier 2 raids had come out. Any chance of new crafting recipes?
Other than amenders?
Yes.
I like that answer. Yes. Chance of new recipes. I don't know what they are yet, but yes, there will be more crafting recipes.
All right.
Yeah, just a few minutes.
I know we're rushing.
Yeah, just, I'm gonna lock the door. Okay. Are the Shiny Shenanigans artifact pinatas coming back?
Yes.
Okay. That's good. All right, so now we're on to Prime questions specifically, and okay. Eileen asked, if this is a progression server, did your plans change? Like you mentioned, all content of Rift will be served under 1 year, but with current pace, even vanilla doesn't look like it will fit in the 1 year span.
Yep, absolutely correct. We've slowed down from. We had an initially planned pace of a major move forward each month. We've slowed down from that, and some of that is seeing how players are actually progressing. It's giving us time to address things like lag issues, get things prepped up and solid before moving ahead.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see, but I am very positive it'll last longer than a year. And it's also true that we have a lot of stacked content prior to Storm Legion, that where the level cap stayed 50 for quite a long time. We have multiple tiers of raid content through there.
Right.
And so we are letting that play out as people, as people naturally play through it.
All right, so we have, Eileen also asked, I had several good questions from him here. Any plans for increasing the Rift team member counts? Right now these guys are trying their best for both Prime and Live, but we can clearly see that it is not enough. And I really appreciate and like their efforts as always.
The answer is yes, and I can't go into very specific details on that. Our team is never going to become as large as it was at launch. I mean, that no team does. No team stays at launch size forever.
Yeah.
However, we are getting some additional team member resources. We've also got a couple of team members who are on loan to other projects who should be returning back to the Rift family soon. So.
And then Eileen also asked, what's your definition for success?
Send in your resumes, actually, yes. If we got some great resumes, never say never. People are like, I want to send in my resume. I see a lot of people who are like, I can fix this.
This guy here was
send in your. Please do, because
yeah.
you know what? The real talk. If we have a player who is very experienced in Rift specifically, and the content of Rift and the players, and you have a skill set that we need, don't even care if we have a rec open on our website. Send us your resume. I want to see it.
And what's your definition for success on Prime?
Our players enjoying it.
All right.
Like that's legit the answer. It's not a numbers definition. It is are we receiving positive feedback from the players who are playing it? Are people still playing? Are they still enjoying it?
And then finally, just because Eileen asked so many good questions here, do you think upcoming changes will be satisfying to both hardcore and the casual community?
No.
It never will.
I've been working in MMOs for over 13 years, and I have never seen those two groups of people happy about the same content. The best we can get.
Casual.
No, the best we can get is actually if both sides are complaining, that means we landed somewhere in the middle. It's not too hardcore and it's not too casual. So we're trying to,
okay,
gotta be in the middle.
Okay, Kedrift asked, will you be adding individual loot to the raid rifts?
Not for raid rifts.
Okay.
It is a loaded answer.
There's a whole bunch of things here that I can actually answer on the forums from the notes that you've made. Mm-hmm. So let's quickly skip ahead to balance because a lot of people have questions on this. Baladin says, considering the top DPS spec for Warrior has been a healing soul for the past 6 months, why were the damage boosts to the Paragon or Champion souls applied to Prime, not applied to Live?
So what we did on...
Do you want to talk about this too?
Prime.
I want to hear your thoughts.
Let me grab this one first, though, because there's a reason. There is actually a reason.
Okay.
Those balance tweaks that were done for those souls on Prime used a specific Prime override that makes it much simpler to adjust numbers on a damage ability as opposed to tearing apart the ability's actual code. Right. So it applies that modifier toward the end. What we did was made those changes on Prime to see how that plays out. If it's worth keeping and bringing to Live, then we actually modify the ability on Live.
And another Art Dragon asks, what are your plans for Cleric? Will they receive the same love Warriors did?
Yes, but we're not done with Warriors.
So on the topic of Warriors, because that really has been the focus of the entire team. What is the plan for Warriors DPS adjustments on Prime/Virgil? I love how you guys call this Virgil. Can Warriors look forward to further minor tweaks for next week?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So
actually, I don't know if it's next week because I haven't looked in my email folder with the check-ins yet. But it is ongoing. We're not done.
One reason I wanted Rough Raptors on the screen is this is the #1 advocate for warriors, and he's
I have a
out there.
lot of emails from him.
Yes, a lot. I see that, and people have asked how we're approaching the team approach to class balance, and that is there's always someone who has a lot of expertise in class, and Rough Raptors is the guy for warriors, and he's been working his warrior ass off. That's why he's so skinny, making sure
I'm not
that
skinny anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so cute. Anyway, I want you guys all to get to know this guy and understand that when we're looking for feedback, we love feedback, but it has to be rational, decent feedback.
Quantified.
Not calling the devs names, not calling Tryon a bunch of sucktastic people. We need proper feedback so that this man can take the qualitative feedback together with the data and quantitative feedback that he can gather himself, and therefore we progress together. And did we want to talk a little bit about the speed of progression and why you haven't made sweeping changes?
Well, I was going to clarify. I am by no means a class designer. That is
I know.
not my role here. So.
No, but you're a warrior player with access to a lot of data.
When I see something that is off or in some sort not behaving as it should be, I believe I will send her an email as
We see
she
it,
described.
yeah.
There are
Yep.
a lot of emails. So that's generally what I've just been doing. Or I've been going out and doing a lot of parsons for threat generation. And thank you to everyone who helped if you were watching.
Yeah. It's been terrific.
We're going to get kicked out of here pretty shortly.
Yeah,
We got 10
whatever.
minutes.
If you can please, why don't you rando up 5 winners for 30-day patron packs, and we'll read all those names off at the end, because I just want to cram in a couple more questions, because there's so many here. Will we see other Mage Souls competitive in DPS without needing to use Mystic Archer? For example, AOR using Stormcaller, Stun Warlock, Elementalist, Necro.
So a key thing, people like to use Mystic Archer because it's OP right now.
Really.
You'll notice that Mystic Archer doesn't have that same strength on live. So it's a problem with Mystic Archer on Prime, being unbalanced toward OP.
Okay.
We don't want to let that stay like that forever. It doesn't mean mages are not going to get touched, but the benchmark is not to bring all mages up to Mystic Archer's DPS.
And we are about to get kicked out of here. We've got to. You know what? I'm going to try to compile these together. The rest of the questions that we have from the forums, I'm going to compile them, write down proper long responses, get those approved by Dev, and get that posted to that thread. So we are going to, if we can. Hey, we have a new person running the live streams now. You want to come on? Come on. You want to introduce yourself? Come introduce yourself.
Who is this?
Okay, who's this person? This is our new live stream producer.
Hi,
Tell us about you.
I'm gonna sit on the corgi.
There you go.
Okay,
He
who
likes
are
it.
you?
I'm Volpsy.
Volpsy.
Nice to meet
Volpsy
you.
is an awesome streamer as well, and we're super happy that she's going to be in every Friday to produce all of our live streams for us.
He's like, oh
So,
yes, new friend.
Now you get to read the winners of the
I
the
do.
30-day patron packs.
I didn't win.
I'm
No, you didn't
so
win.
good at pronouncing names.
Oh no, that's why this is going to be good for you. All right.
It's always the fun
Good
part.
luck.
Jaya Ballard.
Congrats.
First winner. Death's Final Twitch. Second winner.
Great name.
Sierra Lioj.
Sierra
Yeah.
Leoge.
Yeah.
Third winner. Fourth winner. Zara Hana.
Yep.
Fifth winner. Aliciode.
Close enough.
Congratulations.
We will make
Wow.
sure that you get your prizes through whispering on Twitch. Twitch is being a little bit challenging right now to work with as they change their systems about messaging. If you have won something, I know that Nog, you mentioned earlier that you won something and it was put on the wrong account. Send me a message on the forums. We'll get that sorted for you. If you have
Done.
not
So
gotten
out.
your prizes that you've won in the past, message me on the forums. Why is Amory on Rift? Because she's our producer.
Berserk!
Freaking awesome
I bet
producer.
Berserk is here for the arcade stream. I moved
I
over
bet.
to Rift earlier this year in January. I
You
work on
missed
Rift
it.
now.
Yeah, and we're not letting her go, so yeah, never.
I'm stuck here.
Okay, so thank you so much for tuning in. We have to get the hell out of here so that the Trove team can come in. Thank you all so much for joining us. We'll get these questions answered, and we look forward to talking to you again next Friday. See you then.
Bye.
Happy Friday the 13th. Thanks, guys. Oh my God.